All right, worksheet day 8 for business math. Starting out in the math foundations under the business statistics. Now you'll notice they stopped telling you not to use your calculator, so at this point in time, it doesn't say don't use your calculator in the problem. You're okay to just go ahead and use your calculator in order to do the calculations. During the last 6 months of 2013, the monthly sales for Down Home Western Wear included the following amounts, and they have those amounts listed. Calculate the mean and the median of these amounts. Round your answers to the nearest cent. So when I'm doing the mean is normally what people think of when they think of the word average. We're going to add them up, then divide by how many values are on the list. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to just go ahead and grab my calculator. I want to find the total of these things first. So I'm going to take 19,800 plus 14,100 plus 10,000 plus 13,500 plus another 13,500 plus 14,400. My total is 85,300. You do have to total them and find that number first, and then what you're going to do is divide that total number by how many items are on the list. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 months. So I'm going to divide that by 6. So divide that by 6. I get 14,216.6666666 on my calculator. Actually, the calculator rounds the last digit to a 7, but it's really 6 repeating. So when I round that to the nearest cent, I want to go 1 or 2 places after the decimal. There's a 6 behind that, so I have to round it to 7. So $14,216.67 would be what my mean is to the nearest cent. Now when I'm calculating the median means find the middle value. The middle value, if you had an odd number of numbers on your list, would just be what it is. Whatever's in the middle is your number. When you have an even number of values on the list, you have to average the 2 middle numbers. So I have to sort them and put them in order, pick out the 2 that are in the middle, and then find the average. So I'm going to start and put these in order. So the 10,000 is the smallest, and then I have 13,500 and another 13,500, 14,100, 14,400, and 19,800. So I'm looking for the 2 in the middle. These would be the 2 in the middle. The middle is going to be halfway between those 2 numbers. So what you're going to do is add them together and divide by 2. So 13,500 plus 14,100, make sure you have equals, is 27,600. I'm then going to divide that by 2 because I want to find the average. So divide that by 2 numbers on the list. And my answer, 13,800, would be what my middle value would be halfway between my list, 13,800. So mean is like finding the average. We add them all up and divide by how many numbers. Median, think of like the median in the road. It's right down the middle. You're trying to find what's in the middle. If it is an odd number, you just pick the middle number. If it's an even number, you have to add the 2 middle numbers together and divide by 2. So number 2, basically that same thing that we did. Again, they did 6 months. We want to find the mean and the median. So we're going to start by adding the numbers up. So 15,200 plus 19,200 plus 18,900 plus 18,500 plus 11,900 plus 17,000 even. So we have 100,700. We want to find the average, so we're going to divide that by 6. 6 months, the median value, or the mean value I mean. Divide that by 6, my mean value, I get $16,783.33333333. So $16,783.33 is where they round that off to. Since there's a 3 behind it, we don't have to round it up. Calculating the median, where's the middle value? So I have to put them in order. 11,900 is the smallest. Then I have 15,200, 17,000, 18,500, 18,900, and 19,200. So these two are in the middle. I want to average those two out. So 17,000 plus my 18,500 is 35,500. Dividing it by the two numbers that I'm averaging. And so 17,750 would be my mean value, the one that would be in the middle of those two numbers. Again, if I move the board too quickly, just go back and pause. Number 3, same kind of thing. During the first 6 months of 2013, the monthly sales for Down Home Western Wear included the following amounts. Calculate the mean and the median. So if I'm going to do the mean, I have to start by adding. Add all those up. 14,800 plus 14,300 plus 16,200 plus 12,900 plus 16,500 plus 10,400. And I hope you're adding along with me, because there's nobody else in here telling me if I'm adding right or wrong. So if there is a mistake, you got to let me know, and so I can fix the video. Added all those together, we have 6 numbers, so we're going to divide it up by the 6 months in order to find our average. And so we have 14,183.333333 again. So if I have 0.333, I'm rounding it off to 33 cents. So $14,183.33. If I'm going to find the median, I want the middle number. Again, we have 6 numbers on our list, so we got to put them in order. 10,400, 12,900, 14,300, 14,800, 16,200, and 16,500. So our 2 middle numbers are these 2 right here. We want to find the average of those 2 numbers, what would be halfway between those. So 14,300 plus 14,800 gives me 29,100. I'm going to divide it by 2 because I'm averaging 2 numbers. And so 14,550 would be my median value, the one that's in the middle. Number 4, Kevin's Electronics offers 3 models of wireless phones in the store. Following table displays the price and number of units each model sold last month. What was the mean selling price of the wireless phones? We can't just take the average of 3. What we have to do is we have to find the total amount that we made by selling our items. So we're going to start and multiply to figure out how much money the store took in. So we had items that were $57 each. We sold 13 of them. That means we made $741. Then we had items that were $97 each. We only sold 5 of those, but that gave us $485. Then we had items that were $64 each. We sold 15 of those ones, so that means $960. If I'm going to find the mean, I'm going to add those up. 741 plus 485 plus 960, 2,186. I'm going to divide by the total number of units sold. We could add those, but they did it for us. There were 33 units sold. So if I want to find the average price or the mean per unit, I'm going to take my $2,186 divided by the 33 units I sold, and so I get 66.24242424 on my calculator. Rounding that off to the nearest cent, which is what we're going to do most of the time since we're dealing with money, so we're going to say $66.24 would be the average price that we made for each of the units that we sold. Number 5, Susan's Electronics offers 5 models of DVD players in its store. The following table displays the price and number of units of each model sold last month. So, Model A cost me $69 each. I sold 11 of them. So 69 times 11 means we got $759. Model B was $151 each. We sold 6 of them, so that's $906 we made. Model C was $157. We sold 10 of those, so $1,570. Model D is $163. We sold 3 of those, so $489. And Model E, $134 times 8 of those, so $1,072. So the total amount that the store took in by selling DVD players, $759 plus $906 plus $1,570 plus $489 plus $1,072. $4,796. We sold 38 models. We're trying to figure out what the average price or the mean selling price of each of the DVD players were. So if we divide by the 38 that we sold, we get 126.2105. If I round that off to the nearest cent, there's a 0 behind there, so 126.21. $126.21 is the average price that we made. And number 6, same kind of thing. This table's a little bit shorter, but we sold receivers in the store. So the first bunch, $154 each. We sold 11 of those. So 154 times 11 gives us $1,694. Then we had 162 each times 6 units, $972. And then 137 times 10, $1,370. And so the total amount we made from the receivers, $1,694 plus $972 plus $1,370 was $4,036. $4,036. I want to know what the average price or the mean selling price of the receivers were. I sold 27 of them. So if I divide by 27, I get 149.48148, rounding to the nearest hundredth, $149, and there's a 1 behind there, so 48 cents. Number 7, we want to draw a bar graph. So a bar graph is just basically showing the number of items that show up in each of these categories. We have 4 different categories. Probably don't need my calculator for that one. So we had 17 employees. It shows their monthly salaries. We want to know how many people were between $2,000 and $2,499. So I'm looking at my list. 2,200 would be there. 2,400 would be in there, 2,100 would be in there, 2,000 even would be in there, 2,500 is too big, and so that looks like all of those values, so I'm going to have 4. So you're going to grab the bottom with a little tool, you're just going to pull it up to the number 4. It's going to pull that bar up so it shows that you had 4 items in that category. $2,500 to $2,999. So $2,700 would be in there, $2,500 would be in there, $2,800 and $2,900 and $2,600. All those are in there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to pull the bar up to the number 5, show my bar graph. The next one says $3,000 to $3,499. So $3,400, $3,200, $3,100, $3,300, $3,200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So I'm going to pull that up to the number 5. And then the last ones, $3,500 to $3,999. So $3,800, $3,500, $3,600, and that should be it. 3 items, 1, 2, 3. And so that should show our table. If you take 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3, you end up with the 17 total items that we had, right? 4 in this category, 5 here, 5 here, and 3 there. Number 8. Again, we have 17 items. They're listing the price paid for 17 homes, and we want to put them in the table. They kind of snuck these ones in the middle, so just kind of watch that. But they should go in order, $150,000 to $199,000. So looking for the ones that start with $100,000. We got $150,000, so $155,000, and to $199,000, so $195,000. Just looks like there's 2 in that category. And then we have this section down here, $2,000 to $249,000, or $200,000 to $249,000. So $200,000, $205,000, $230,000. $250 be too big. $205,000, $215,000, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in that middle category, so I'm going to draw it right where that little space is. Then we got the next section, $250 to $299. So we've got a $250, another $250, and a $290. So 3. Then we got $300 to $349. So $310. $325, $345, too big, $315. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that in the middle here. And then we have the last section. I'm going to go back to blue here. Anything bigger than $350,000. So 365, 390, and 370 are all bigger than that, so we've got 3. And so we had 2 here, 5 here, 3 here, 4 here, and 3 there. If I add those up, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17. Yep, I've got all 17 accounted for. My graph should look something sort of like that. Number 9, we've got shopping times. So the shopping times given here for 17 shoppers. The first category, 20 to 25. So 20 to 25, 22, 23. That looks like the only ones that are between 20 and 25. 2. 26 to 31. 27. It gives you a weird number in there, 26 to 31. So 26, 30 would be in there, 27, 29, 26 to 31. Looks like I have all of those. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 32 to 37. So 32 to 37, 33, 32, 32 to 37, just 2 of them in there. 38 to 43. Whoops, I'll go to black here. 38, so 39, to 43. So 40 and 40 and 43. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last group, we're going from 44 to 49. So 46, 44, 49, and 48, we have 4. So we had 2, we had 5, we had 2, we had 4, and 4. 8, 9, 10, plus 7 would be 17. Got them all counted up. So our graph should look something like that. Number 10, we are going to read a graph. It says the graph below represents the monthly cost of selling expenses. Here the monthly cost is in dollars. So in January we were between $800 and $900, so that would be at $850. February we were at $1,100, and so forth. So what was the highest monthly cost? The highest one is obviously going to be this top point. The highest cost was $1,400 then. During which month did the greatest decrease in selling expenses occurred when compared to the cost of the selling expenses for the previous month? So we're trying to find where the greatest decrease occurred. So here we're increasing. We went from $850 to $1,100. Here we're also increasing. We went from $1,100 to $1,400. Now we're figuring out where did we decrease? How much did we decrease by? So here we're going down. Those are decreases. $1,400 to $1,250. So I'm just going to grab my calculator here. 1,400 minus 1,250 decreased by 150. Then here we went from 1,250 down to 1,050. So 1,250 minus 1,050 is $200 that it decreased by. And then here we were at 1,050. We went down to $950. $100. So where did the greatest decrease occur? It occurred here between April and May. You're then going to say that the greatest decrease occurred from the previous month in May. Drop the most from April to May, so you're going to give the May answer. So number 11 says the graph below represents the average ticket sales per game by a college football team in each season during the 7-season period. So for example, here in 1996 we were right here. This is going up by 8, 9, 10. So up by $100. So if this is $8,300, $8,400, $8,500. So this would be at $8,500. 1997 we'd be just at $8,400. And so forth. So it says, what was the highest average ticket sales for the team? What was the highest one? The highest one is here. So I'm looking right here. So that would be 92, 93, 94. 9,400 was the average number of tickets sold in 2002. In what season did the team have the greatest decrease? So we're looking for where did it drop. It dropped a little bit here, but it dropped way more right here. And so all of these then are increasing, 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 and increasing. Each dot is going higher. So my biggest decrease, it dropped the most from here to here. So in 1998 is where we had the biggest drop. Number 12, again we're looking at our graph. The graph represents the donations collected by a small charity organization for a 6-year period. These are going up by thousands, and so in between here would be 750. So what was the lowest amount of donations collected? So right here's my low. My low is between 13,500 and 12,500. If you're not sure, add them up and average them because it's halfway between those two numbers. So 12,500 plus 13,500 is 2,600. If I divide that by 2, halfway between those is going to be 1,300, right? And so this one here is going to be 1,400, and so forth. So what was the lowest amount? $1,300. In which year did the organization have the greatest increase? So I'm looking for where it increased. Here it increased, it's going up from one point to the next. Here it increased, and then here it increased a whole lot. So the biggest increase is right here. And so the greatest increase in donation compared to the previous year, the biggest increase in 2001. If you're not sure, figure out the two ends and subtract to figure out what the difference is between those. But here, hopefully, it's fairly obvious that that's where it went up the most, because it was way down here at 1,400 and ended up at 1,800. So it increased by quite a bit. Number 13, we are now doing a circle graph. It says, in the circle graph below shows how the combined expenses for Everman concrete projects is divided by regions. If the amount budgeted for the western region and northern region is $1,640,000, what are the total expenses of the company? Well, we really haven't talked about percents a whole lot, so you kind of need to know about percents. What we need to know is that the percent times the total is equal to the part. For our formula, if you take 12% of the total of the pie chart, you get the part spent on the western region, or whatever it is. So I'm doing the western region and the northern region. The western region is 12% of the pie chart. The northern region is 29%. So if I take 12 plus 29, 41% is my percent. So it's saying that 41% of the total is equal to the part that they spent, the $1,640,000. Now when I'm working with percents, I don't put it in with a percent on my calculator. I have to change the percent to a decimal. 41% means 41 out of 100. 41 divided by 100 is 0.41. The easy way to change a percent to a decimal is take the decimal and move it back 2 places. You're dividing by 100. So if I move it back 2 places, we're using 0.41 times my total equals my part. Now we did that little section on algebra. In order to solve this for the total, we have to do the opposite of multiplying to move this to the other side. So what we're doing is we're dividing by that 0.41. So I'm going to take my 1,640,000. I'm going to divide it by 0.41, and so I get 4 million for the total of what the pie chart is. And that would make sense if I spent $1,640,000 on just 2 of these. If I have all of the sections together, I have to have a bigger number, 4 million. Number 14 says the circle amount shows the annual budget divided by the department. If the budgeted amount for sales, engineering, and editorial combined is $29 million, what is the total budget again? So the percent times the total equals my part. So even though that seems like a really big number, that's only part of that whole pie chart. We did sales, 16%, engineering, 17%, and editorial, 7%. So 16 plus 17 plus 7 means we have 40%. 40% is the decimal, 0.40, right? 2 places backwards, or take 40 divided by 100. We are trying to find the total if we know that only part of our pie chart is 29,600,000. So again, in order to solve that, we have to do the opposite of multiplying, which means we're going to divide by that 40%. So 29,600,000 divided by 0.40 gives me 74 million for the total of the entire pie chart. And the last one here, they did the same thing. I wish they was going to give you a different one. Let me just kind of quickly figure this out, and I'm going to change the problem here. Insurance, housing, and clothing. Insurance is 10, housing is 21, and clothing is 16, 47%. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this number here. Pretend you don't know that that's there. We're going to say the total of the pie chart is $100,000. We want to find what part was spent on these three things: insurance, housing, and clothing. So if it's worded this way, where you know what the total amount is and you're just trying to find part of the circle, we think about the formula. Percent times the total equals the part. My percent on insurance, housing, and clothing. 10 plus 21 plus 16 is 47%. I suppose I should write 47% out first. 47%. 47% as a decimal, we move the decimal 2 places, so 0.47 times my total. My total, 100,000, is equal to my part. If my formula looks like this, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply these two things together because they're on the same side of the equation. So I'm going to take 0.47 times 100,000. And we get 47,000 spent on those three items, which I knew what it was supposed to be, and that's why I worked it backwards. So you will have some that look like this instead of like the previous ones, and so I just want to give you a little different variation of what it might look like. If they say, find the part spent on 2 or 3 of the items, you're just going to go ahead and multiply times the total in order to find your answer. So that is the end of the worksheet day 8, which is also the end of the first chapter, the Mathematics Foundations. And so you should be able to go on your pie chart and finish all the rest of the stuff that you have in that first section of your pie chart.